We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk, 1180, 1230, KGEO, 1410, KERI, and now in Albuquerque, New Mexico on 1000 KKIM. Our guest by phone, Michael Stern, author of a great book, I Had a Ball, My Friendship with Lucille Ball. Michael, where can people get your book?
They could get it through Amazon. Best way, you could download it on Amazon, but you could also get a hard copy or paperback copy through my website as well. People can come to my website. It's called thelucyfan.com. TheLucyFan.com.
Thelucyfan.com. Okay.
Correct. And
great.
There's lots of pictures on my website, stories. It's actually a nice website.
Yeah, it's a great website. You know, when we started the program, we started with a YouTube clip of Lucy saying that you're her best fan. That's one of several YouTube clips that are on that people can look at. But one that I thought was interesting, and there's a great story behind it, is the YouTube clip of Bob Hope and Lucille Ball. Tell us a little bit about that clip.
I'm trying to think which clip that is.
This is the one from the Academy Awards.
Oh, okay. That was Lucille Ball's very, 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 very last appearance.
That was one of my questions for you. That was the last time she was on the air, wasn't it?
That is correct.
Okay.
And she was nervous about doing the show because it's the Academy Awards, and she had not been to the Academy Awards in like 40 years. And she was wearing a dress that weighed like 50 pounds. She hated that dress, but she looked beautiful in that dress. It was all beaded, and she had a slit all the way up her leg. And remember, she was, almost 80 years old, and she looked phenomenal. But the nice thing about the Academy Awards, everyone has security badges. You can't walk over here, you can't walk on the red carpet, you can't walk backstage, nothing. I had no credentials, but I was a seat filler. And I saw Lucy, and Lucy grabbed me, and I was able to walk everywhere with her. I mean, she was my golden pass. And so backstage, she was introducing me to Jimmy Stewart and all these big, big, big stars. So that was fun. And then she gave me her ticket to her seat because she wasn't going to sit in the audience. So here I was sitting in the second row right next to Tom Cruise and Michelle Pfeiffer. And when Lucille Ball walked out on stage, big standing ovation. The audience is about to sit down, and then she waves on the Academy Awards to me, "Hello, Michael."
And you can see that in the clip. I was looking at the clip this morning, and you can actually see that on the clip.
Yeah. I mean, how's that? Lucy waved to me on the Academy Awards.
And everybody looked over and go, "Who the heck is Michael?"
Michelle Pfeiffer did. She certainly did. Like, oh, you really do know her. So that was
well, that's why I'm in her seat, dummy.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Bob Hope and Lucille Ball. They had a special kind of relationship, didn't they?
They had a great working relationship. They did 4 movies together. Lucy appeared on a lot of his specials. Bob Hope appeared on her shows. They had that working relationship, and they would always call each other, and they would work for scale. Sometimes the stars would want, big money, but Lucy would do a week worth of work. She would work for like pennies a day to be on a Bob Hope special.
Yeah, I could see where people would do that. I mean, just the fun,
Right, exactly. And she had a good time on his shows, and vice versa, I'm sure.
I have to tell you a quick Bob Hope story. You and I grew up in the same neighborhood in North Hollywood there. And I remember being in a Boy Scout troop, and they dropped us off in Toluca Lake with all these a box full of mistletoe. We were trying to sell mistletoe to raise money to buy some tents. So they dropped me off in this corner, and there's this humongous house there in Toluca Lake, and the gates open. So me being a 12-year-old kid, not really knowing the difference, I just go marching in there, knock on the front door, and the butler opens it up, and I do my spiel, and he goes, "Well, I'm sorry." He says, "You can't be here." I said, "Well, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to sell some mistletoe." This guy's walking down the stairs. He says, "Hold on." So I give him the spiel. He buys the entire box, just gives me like $25 for the whole box.
Oh, my gosh.
It was Bob Hope.
That is amazing. That is really nice.
It didn't dawn on me who it was till I looked at the face, and I thought, God, I know who that guy is. And I'm walking back to the street, and it dawns on me it's Bob Hope. So,
and he probably used that mistletoe a lot.
He probably did.
I've heard about Bob Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of famous people like that, I mean, I can't believe the people you have gotten to meet, not only working for Dr. Phil, but your relationship with Lucy. And, tell us about some of those people that you've met over the years.
Well, through Lucy, I was able to meet people like Cary Grant, and one of my favorite stories is Nancy Reagan. She was actually the first lady at the time. She was doing a talk show with Lucille Ball. It was the Joan Rivers talk show. And there was a lot of security that day because she was the first lady. Lucy was in her dressing room. I was in Lucy's dressing room. There was a knock on the door. Somebody from the White House said, Mrs. Reagan would like to see you now. And Lucille Ball, in her wit, said, okay, bring her in. But it was like Lucy who had to go see Nancy Reagan. But the person from the White House was like, what do I tell Lucille Ball that she has to actually walk over to Nancy Reagan? But she did. They were friends for, MGM days.
Yeah, from the old days, the 40s and 50s. Yeah.
But I got to meet Nancy Reagan through her, and, like I said, Bob Hope and Julie Andrews, and you name it, Milton Berle, every comedian around. Carol Burnett, who I still see all the time. I just saw her a few times in the last couple months. So, I mean, really nice. And, it's Betty White who will send me little letters now and, remember the good old times, with Lucy and Carol Burnett. And it's been really a pleasure.
Michael, I've got instructions to see if there's any way I can use your influence to get Betty White on the program.
Oh, sure. Not a problem.
Betty White's going to live forever.
Yeah, she really is. She really is. So we could book her maybe in 2018. Her schedule is really busy.
Marty may not make that.
Well, I was going to say, she's about the same age as Clay, so, you just never know. So,
she's working all the time. She's working full time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, isn't that great? That's fantastic. She's doing what she loves to do.
She's 91. I just saw her maybe 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's right there. I mean, she just did a live show of Hot in Cleveland, and it was live, like a stage play. And she hit all her lines. She missed one, but she was there. She's 91.
Wow, incredible. Our guest by phone, Michael Stern, author of a great book, I Had a Ball, My Friendship with Lucille Ball.
So, Michael, it appears that being associated with Lucy has really opened up a lot of doors and opportunity for you over the years, hasn't it?
Absolutely, because, I loved watching TV shows being filmed as a kid. I would go to, the Lucy shows, Carol Burnett, Mary Tyler Moore, Rhoda, Phyllis, game shows, The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I'm dating myself. I am young. I wish people on the radio can see how young I am. But... and now I do it, full-time on the Dr. Phil show. So I actually like doing what I do. I come to work every day enjoying what I do.
Well, you get to live a dream, basically.
Yes.
Do you think that...
And my office is in the Desilu Prop House. So, and I walk every day through the Lucille Ball building at Paramount Studios.
So do you think your relationship with Lucy actually opened up the doors for you to get this position?
You betcha. You betcha. Every single day I thank her.
And what's next for you?
What is next for me? Good question. Maybe breakfast?
Good. Me too.
I love it. Hey, one of the people you met, and I love this story, is John Wayne.
John Wayne was, it was at the Friars Club. Lucille Ball was being honored. She was actually the first woman to be honored with the Friars Club. Usually they roast all these men, but Lucy was the first one being toasted. And it's funny because Milton Berle said, tonight we are, how did he say it? It was like Eddie Fisher likes to fish, and Tab Hunter likes to hunt, and Lucy likes to... And that was like the nastiest joke of the whole night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you had to think of what I was thinking.
Yes, that's okay.
But yeah, I got to meet... Lucille Ball introduced me to John Wayne. And it was before I was taking photos with celebrities, but the Duke, John Wayne did not want to do any TV shows early on in his career. Not his career, but in television. His manager said, if you do television, you're dead. But he did it for Lucille Ball, and then he would always come and visit Lucy on I Love Lucy and The Lucy Show, and he was great. And he could do comedy. who knew that John Wayne could do comedy?
Yeah. There's actually a couple of funny YouTube clips of him and Dean Martin that are really hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, he was a funny guy.
Yeah. Michael, unfortunately, we're out of time, so give your website again, okay?
It's thelucyfan.com or Amazon.
Okay, so people can get the book. It's called I Had a Ball, My Friendship with Lucille Ball,
right,
by Michael Z. Stern.
And if you do buy it on my website, I can even sign the book for you.
Oh, how about that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an autograph.
Sign it over the internet?
And if you do it on an iPad, just send me your iPad and I can sign the iPad.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
But do you send it back?
Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not.
Michael, hang on a moment after we get off the air, okay?
You betcha.
Okay, we'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.